Hey everyone, I'm Pacific the Casual Gamer, part 2 of the 5th anniversary of my YouTube channel. So I really want to get this right, and I've recorded this. This is the 3rd time I've recorded this episode, just because I want to get everything right. So what I'm going to start with is what happened July 2nd, 2019. So basically the day before my channel, posted a video that my channel is 4 years old. And that was that my parents divorced. And that was a very chaotic thing. Not so much the divorce itself, because I really wasn't interacting with my parents a lot. And I had decided that I would rather, do things like create videos rather than go on weekend vacations with them or something like that, And so, oh, my cats are playing right now. Yeah, but the big thing for me was the change. I had to move out. Well, I didn't have to move out, but I decided that, you have these two people that have been supporting me for longer than the average person would support their kids. And it's going to be way more stressful if one of them has to take care of me, right? And so I just decided, I literally went to my girlfriend's house and I said, hey, I have to tell you something. And it was just like, yeah, can I move in with you? I think I actually said I'm moving in with you, and she said that was okay. And then the next day I got my job at Walmart, and it was man, life was, I wouldn't say it was crazy, it was adapting to the change that was probably the hardest part, right? I mean, there is of course the emotional impact of your parents separating, right? It's kind of hard if one of them is there, at least for me, to reminisce with family members about like stuff that maybe happened when they were together, right? It's kind of hard for me to do that because that's not real anymore. Same thing with looking back on my videos in that room with the storage. It's kind of weird to watch that because that storage room is almost empty now. So that, of course, I had the crying nights, and my girlfriend really helped me a lot through that. And then I was at Walmart, and I was really just depressed, man. Like, there's no other way to put it. It's kind of the double whammy of getting a job at Walmart and having your parents separate that really kind of beat me down for a while, I would say. And the change to, moving out. But I had to move forward. And I did move forward after that. I posted YouTube videos. I really wanted to get out of Walmart. And I decided, I'm not gonna, what was the fastest way that I could build a business that I enjoyed? And at that time, it was either YouTube videos or eBay. eBay was the next thing that I tried. And I actually tried it with flipping video games. And I actually didn't make a profit, but I made some big sales. So I made a couple of sales. God, my cats are gonna destroy this house, man. But I made a couple of big sales of my own stuff. I'm really glad that I grew up with brothers who grew up when the 80s and 90s, Nintendo games were around, because I already had that knowledge of what titles to look up and the prices. But ultimately, for my skill level, I felt like at the time I didn't have enough funding, from the Walmart job and my share of the bills. Like, I just didn't have enough money to really make it, worth it for me. But also, I just didn't enjoy selling stuff on eBay because I missed that people interaction, right? So then one day, I had swapped, I think I was still on night shift. I don't remember. At some point, I swapped over to day shift. Yeah, I did swap over to day shift because they got rid of night shift. Thank God, because night shift was causing me to hallucinate at night. And I had this weird cycle. I had to go in to teach. I had swapped to teaching just 4 hours a week at the martial arts school. And I was in charge of making classes. So I was still spending about like 20 hours. It was probably like 4... Depending on who showed up early, I would say more like 4.5 to 5 hours of teaching, 4 to 5 hours of making classes, probably another 4 to 6 hours of training, and then I was really taking sparring seriously, so I was spending a lot of time, about 4 hours, I would say, 4s everywhere, watching Olympic fighting and different techniques and different people's perspectives and stuff like that. And I swapped a day shift, and I remembered this site that I used called Upwork that I failed at, video editing. And I messaged someone. They said they needed someone to edit martial arts instructional videos, and I'm like, well, I've got both of those, and I got the job. And that was my first freelance job, and it was big because it showed that I could do it. I only got paid the one time by that thumbnails for Ren's reviews. But other than that, I never really had anyone pay me for video editing, and thus the video editing business was born that I run. And then, that was going good, and then oh man, it hurts me to talk about what's going to happen next because November rolls around in 2019. So, in November, I probably actually since I'd moved out of my parents', but it really took hold in November, I had decided at some point, from a lot of self-reflection, that I didn't want to do martial arts anymore, at least train at the martial arts school. I could see myself still maybe going back as like having it be my exercise, because I prefer that sort of exercise over something like lifting weights at the gym or even at home, so I could see myself picking up martial arts again, but I just didn't want to train at the school I was training at anymore, because it just sort of was like, I guess, a difference of opinion type thing, right? So me and all the other people there had the same core fundamental values of like, be nice to people, try to be a good person, things like that, but then there were other specific things that I disagreed with, and I just decided to stop. I didn't want to train there. But the way I handled it was really, really poor. Instead of just saying, hey, we have too many differences of opinions, because for me, I want someone in charge of me that, like, if I put someone in charge of me, or even in a leadership position under me, there's a very specific type of person that works with me. And if that specific person is not the person in charge of me, it doesn't work out very well. And that's kind of what happened was, because everybody changes as the years go on, and I really, like, there was this kind of weird command structure we had where sometimes I was in charge, sometimes I wasn't. And there was really only one person out of the 4 that I was genuinely fit all of my, requirements for what I deemed as someone who could be in charge of me, Not saying that, like, the other 3 were bad people, it's just that they were too different, and I didn't work well with them at all. Well, maybe one of them sort of, but I just it didn't work. And I, like, exploded, basically, and wrote a really, really long set of text messages and caused a lot of hurt feelings. And that is, I said in the last video, my big regret in school was taking it too serious because I knew I didn't want to do it. This was my other big regret, is just kind of like, exploding on people that I love, So that happened, but I had to get past that. And after that, things did not get easier, right? Now, this is in November of 2019. I'd started really ramping up work, and I ended up dropping my hours at Walmart at some point. And then comes January 2020. It was fine, except then my girlfriend got deployed. So now, I'm alone at this house working at Walmart, right? At the time, it felt like, first it felt like a change, right? My parents' divorce, I just move in with my girlfriend. Now it felt like my parents were divorced. I'm no longer at the martial arts school. And now my girlfriend's gone. And I felt like my life had just been deleted. But it made me a stronger person. Because what I learned from that kind of experience was who I really am and what I'm really capable of. Because soon after that, I quit my job at Walmart, and I've been pretty much working. I've been making about the same amount of money working freelance as I did at Walmart, but I get paid like way more, right? Because at Walmart, I did the math. I probably made out about $10 an hour, and currently video editing, I make, if you include all of the work that I do when I'm not looking for new clients, it comes out to about $20 an hour of my own time, you know. I don't work hourly, but if I do the math about how many hours I spend on this business, you know, and so it's like, I think it's already a win, and it's just something that really, dude, it sucked, you know. So then, stuff's not over yet though. We're only in about February of 2019. March was actually really good. March was, I decided that I wanted to try to do more with my stuff. So I got, you know, I started working on more projects. I did have to drop a couple projects because they just weren't paying me enough. There was one project I took on that, because of how much time it took on and how little pay it took, if I did the math on, like, if I got a normal, like, client, I lost about $1,000 because I took on this project. So I was like, you know what, I can't do it. I can't do it, you know. The person was really nice, though, so it wasn't like they were a bad client or anything. It's just that I was being severely underpaid. You know, it was a video editing and sort of graphic design skills, and I wasn't even getting paid. I think I did the math. It was like $2.50 an hour, when it should have been at least $25 for an hour for the amount of work I was doing. So I was literally getting paid 10% of what I should have been paid. So that was that. And then we get into April. So April had a really big up and a really big down. April, I joined my first esports team for Siege, because in January, I'd also been training to be on an esports team. And April, I joined the esports team, and then I also started I tried to work video editing 12 hours every single day. Don't do it. It's not worth it. I hate it. You know, I hated it because it was all video editing. I prefer, you know, video editing and esports and YouTube. You know, I don't prefer a full day of YouTube, a full day of esports, a full day of video editing and whatnot. Although, I mean, I would take, if you just paid me to live stream 16 hours in a day every once in a while, I'd do it. But, you know, that's different. And so, and at that time, I also had some projects that I really just didn't want to work on, because I was using Fiverr a lot of the time, and I was getting underpaid. Like, because Fiverr takes enough money, and Fiverr's already known as a cheap website. So I did my esports team. We decided we didn't like the leader, so we left and formed Axis Esports, which is the team that I'm in charge of. And then May rolls around. I, at that point, had dropped caffeine. I met Gary V. He told me to hire someone. I hired someone, I want to say, late May. I had some sort of depression because it was hopeless. I felt hopeless because my girlfriend was gone. I was tied up in work, but I wasn't making, I think, well, there was something I wasn't doing. Oh yeah, I didn't make enough time to keep taking care of our house, right? Because I'm living alone. So I was, you know, stuff was getting backed up, chores, and it was just a disaster. That, like, it was April and May was kind of like, and by the way, the YouTube channel, by the way, is still getting dropped at this point because I can't make YouTube videos. So YouTube and chores are not getting taken care of, right? If I decide to drop esports practice, something else gets done, but then I dropped esports practice. And there was a time where I was inactive on my team for like 3-4 weeks. You know, and I'm in charge of the PC team. So that happened in May and April, and then this June is rolling around, and things are finally starting to settle. You know, May was kind of a weird one because I got chores done, but all of my clients had something happen, so I actually didn't make any money. I think I made like 150 bucks in May because just no one, you know, everyone hit a bump in the road. But now it's June, you know, and I'm finally starting to get things under control again. It still bothers me to email my girlfriend. I told someone this one time. Emailing someone on deployment feels like it, and this is how it genuinely feels like. It feels like you're talking to someone who's dead, but not really. Like, it genuinely feels like they're just gone out of your life and you're just talking to them. And it takes its toll. It takes its toll every once in a while on me. So I'll have a day where I'm really sad that, you know, she's gone. My girlfriend's gone. And it feels like she's gone. Like gone permanently. Even though hopefully she's not, you know, but it just feels like she's gone permanently. And I have to take care of this house that, you know, in my life. And it's definitely, the deployment has taken every single negative emotion and amplified it, because I don't have that person to, you know, wake up next to. That's the things you miss. It's not, you know, for me, I don't miss like going out on dates. I don't miss, you know, sometimes we adventure to different, you know, different parts of the city. No, it's, you know, cooking food together, you know, sitting down together, having those like conversations before work, you know, or when she comes home, that, you know, hug when someone comes home, two people playing with the kitties. It's not even like the fact that I have to do everything by myself in this house. It's those that just, you know, you miss. I know my kitty just meowed. I miss, like, when I, you know, am done working, she's sitting there, you know, watching TV or drawing something or editing her own video. That's what I miss. And it takes everything and amplifies it a lot. So that's what's up, man. That's what's been my past year. And I'm finally, like, June kind of rolled around and I finally kind of started picking myself back up. Also this year I got burned out on making Oblivion videos, man. And I probably, I was living with my parents. It started a while ago and I made 3 videos a day. And there's just not a lot that I'm excited for about Oblivion anymore. You know, I've made a bunch of builds and it all kind of feels the same. You know, there's only so many times you can talk about a build that uses destruction magic or blade skill. There's only so many times you can talk about that before it doesn't feel unique. I learned this about myself this year because one of the things that happens when you get a job is you don't have time to play video games. I mean, I still didn't really have a lot of time. When you don't have a lot of time to just play video games on your own when you were making 3 videos a day. But what happened was the difference is, instead of already making videos, is I wasn't making videos when I got my job at Walmart, or my video editing job. I wasn't making gaming videos. So what games I played, I had ideas for those, and that's it. And that's why there's so many Rainbow Six Siege videos, is that's the only game that I actually really play a lot anymore. Sometimes I turn on maybe Civ if I need to de-stress, or No Man's Sky, but I play Siege. That's what I do, and that's why this channel is always changing the video games that are on it, because at the end of the day, I only talk about the games that I'm playing. And that's why, if you look back at my channel, it's like, what he played, he talked about COD for 3 months, and then this game, and then this game, and then this game, and what is he doing? You know, that's why. You know, that's what's been going on. That's why I haven't really been posting any videos, and that's why I've just been, when I have made videos, a lot of them I've been very tired, or sometimes very negative. But, you know, I'm back. I'm finding a flow of things, you know. And I'm really starting to see a lot of progress in a lot of different things, and a lot of, you know, spending less time just de-stressing from Walmart, you know, or jobs that I don't like to do. Like, I spend that time that you spend de-stressing, like sometimes you have to do it. Sometimes you have to de-stress and disconnect from everything, right? I'm spending less and less time de-stressing and just going from one task to the next. So, yeah, but that's kind of what's been going on. And I want to say this because I said it in the last video, because I think it's really, really important to talk about. I am here, and all of us are here, because of all the other people in our lives. And, you know, I still believe that, you know, because, well, your parents didn't exist, you wouldn't exist, and every single person has, you know, given you some sort of lessons to learn from, whether someone being nice and then, like, you remember that and then 6 months later you do it, or someone taught you some life lesson. But, you know, with that, the second part of that is all of us as humans are also taking all that knowledge and applying it to ourselves. And that's what makes humans great, is they can learn from other people. And it's really cool. Just, you know, the more I think about humans and how they interact with each other, the more that I think the human experience is just ridiculous and insane. And I guess the less I feel that I personally take it for granted, you know. I mean, I thought I appreciated my girlfriend until she was taken away from me, you know. At least that's how it feels like. She was taken away from me, and then now, you know, it was gone. Some videos that I made this year that I'm really proud of was I made a social media trailer for a Zoom call that this guy does. I made the Necromancer video, pretty proud of that. I also made some Rainbow Six Siege meme-tages for somebody that paid me. That was pretty cool. But this year was not a year of video making for me, other than my client work. But personally, yeah, that's pretty much it for this video about the present things that have been going on. And yeah, it's been wild, I'll say that. But we're here, we're now, and in the next video I'm going to talk about my future and what I envision for my future from this. This year has made me really think about what I want to do with my life in the future, and I think I've figured out part of it. So I'm Pacific the Casual Gamer. Thank you all so much for watching this, and I will see you in the next video.